What's a happening, nerds? This is John nerding out with cards, and what I'm doing for this Ozzie Smith weekend video is kind of connecting cards years with a book in a sense. But I did my book report on the K Chronicles by Dennis Marksbury, and that was a really cool book, fun book. But at the same time, like I said, with that book, there was that website, and I mentioned it in the book report. But what I'm gonna do is kind of use it in a sense to connect with Ozzie Smith. So it's like I said here. He's got the website and everything, but there was an aspect of the website which is actually kind of cool. My book report's on the site now. But if you go to career and you go to the strikeout list, what happens is you get this, and it's all 5,714 strikeouts. And so I got really curious. Of course, Ozzie Smith has struck out against Nolan Ryan. He actually didn't do too bad against Nolan. I forgot the exact stats and everything, but when Nolan came over to the National League, to the Astros from the Angels, that's when Ozzie got to face Nolan Ryan for the first time. There was no interleague play at the time, so I wanted to look up when was the first time Ozzie Smith became a victim of Nolan Ryan. And you see here, he was number 2,962. And he struck out against Nolan, I think, about 20 more times or so. So yeah, he's different numbers throughout the list. But the first time, he was that number, May 28th. So we're actually coming up on the anniversary of the first time Ozzie struck out against Nolan. But it was when Ozzie was with the Padres, of course. So I just thought that was really cool, and it's, I don't know, maybe some people might be interested in seeing, maybe when a favorite player of theirs faced Nolan, or not faced Nolan for the first time, but struck out for the first time. And it's just a little microscopic piece of the Nolan story. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show some 1980s cards, or 1980 cards, I should say. I'm not going to get too in depth with it because I just want to really show off this website and everything. But because the first year that Ozzie struck out against Nolan was that year, I'm just going to show cards from that year. You want to get more in depth on the Topps and O-Pee-Chee sets of that year, I suggest going over to collecting Nolan, and you see Sensational Set Sunday number 45 from 8 months ago. He gets into the O-Pee-Chee top sets, specifically with Nolan. I enjoyed that series that he does. It's been going on for a good while, so highly recommend it out, or recommend you check it out. Going over to collecting Nolan, Russ over there. But anyway, so with that being said, y'all have seen these cards, of course, but 1980 Topps and O-Pee-Chee. Of course, you guys have seen the backs many, many times. But one of the things that it gets said a lot for Ozzie specifically is there's not a whole lot of fielding pose or fielding image cards from the 80s, and this one's no different. 1980 is an amazing set. Some consider it the last quote unquote vintage set, but it's Ozzie batting. And now that I know that Ozzie Smith struck out for the first time against Nolan Ryan in 1980, it makes it actually kind of cool that it shows Ozzie hitting. And I tell you right now, it kind of looks like he whiffed, right? Yeah. Of course, that image was taken from '79, but now it's kind of funny, and now I think of that card a little bit differently when it comes to the image. Card I've showed before, 1980 Family Fun Centers. Blank back, very flimsy. And then just because I'm tying it to Nolan Ryan, and I'm just going to show this because I think it's awesome. Maybe you're getting tired of it. But the 1979 Hostess panel, it's my only Nolan Ryan card because of Ozzie. But anyway, I thought that was just really cool, really fun. Taking that book to just a different level, not the next level necessarily, but it's just Dennis put in all that work with the book and then the website. That's what I really wanted to show off was the website more so this time. But it was really fun to click through and you see some of the victims' names, and then eventually where it got to Ozzie. And like I said, 2,962. That's not man. Ozzie came pretty close to being number 3,000. I think that would have been cool. Of course, it's not how it turned out, but anyway, this is how I'm nerding out, tying Ozzie to Nolan. And thanks for nerding out with me.